WrestleMania 41 Night 1 is in the books, and as the dust settles, it's time to talk about the good, the bad, and the downright head-scratching. Today, we're going to be focusing on the latter as we count down the 3 most horrible booking decisions from Night 1. These are moments that made us question the creative direction and left us feeling that things could have gone very much differently. Let's get into the discussion. At number 3, El Grande Americano, aka maybe that's Chad Gable, taking on Rey Fenix. Now, Chad Gable was slated to work Rey Mysterio on this show. He has really gotten behind this El Grande Americano gimmick, and they've pushed him to the moon with this gimmick. Having him go up against a guy like Rey Mysterio, Rey obviously earned the spot, and it was going to be a big-time moment for Chad. And unfortunately, Rey got injured on Friday's SmackDown. Now, Brian Alvarez is reporting that it's a groin injury. Those are very painful, and it's kind of tricky as far as a time frame goes. Everyone's kind of different, and you got to be really, really easy about it, or you can re-injure it. So they went in there and they put Rey Fenix in the match. And I thought that Rey Fenix replacing Rey Mysterio was actually the right call. I liked it better than dragging Lee, who had been laid out by Chad Gable in recent weeks. In fact, I think it was on SmackDown, but regardless, they made the right call there. What I did not like is they had El Grande go over. They had him go over Rey Fenix. If he was facing Rey Mysterio, that's one thing. I would agree with that. Chad Gable's a younger guy. He would earn that win. It would mean more for him than just Rey Mysterio beating this guy, right? And I think they're going towards, or at least they were going towards, a mask versus mask match. And they can certainly still do that with Rey Fenix. I think beating Rey Fenix so early on, it was a disservice to him. You are building up Rey Fenix. You want to make him a big star. Having him go out there and just lose to El Grande Americano, I did not agree with that. I thought that was the wrong decision. And I think that the quicker Rey Fenix can get into a tag team with Penta, the better off he will be. Here's the problem. Penta, he knows how to work as a singles, and he knows how to work as a singles as a top star. Having him go into a tag team with Rey Fenix is good for Rey Fenix, and it's good for the tag team division. But I think WWE, and rightfully so, believes that they have a megastar on their hands with Penta, where he could be, the closest thing to the next Rey Mysterio. He won't ever be Rey Mysterio. There won't ever be another Rey Mysterio. He's the goated luchador, in my opinion, here in the United States. You can't outrank him, but the idea that you could have someone like Penta get to his level, I think that would be the right choice. Tag team titles. Okay, so War Raiders, they were defending against the New Day. World Tag Team titles on the line. This felt like a Raw match if I've ever seen one. It felt like, well, we got to get a tag team title defense on this card. New Day's been around forever. They're always going to have solid matches. War Raiders, they're not over at all, but they have great matches, so let's just put them in there. They kept it short. They did it 9 minutes. Going into the show is probably one of the least anticipated matches on either night. I don't think a lot of people were looking forward to it. I did a prediction show with Ringside Intel. That crew was not interested. I've talked to buddies of mine. They were not interested in this. It was one of those, well, we gotta put a match on the card, so let's do this. It didn't need to be there, but it did, and at least all 4 guys got a WrestleMania moment. Here's the problem. I don't agree with the New Day going over. What does it do for the New Day? Okay, they won the titles again. Outside of the first 2-3 weeks after their heel turn, they haven't really done anything. It's just like, they're there. At least with the War Raiders, it's like, well, they can have all these banger type matches with all these tag teams. And I think if you go with, it's the New Day, or, all right, we're going to have great matches because War Raiders are in this match, I would go with the latter. I think that's why WWE messed up in that regard. I would have kept the titles on the War Raiders. I didn't think there needed to be a title change. Obviously, WWE did. I don't know why, but that's what happened. And now going forward, we have to live with that reality and that agreement and or decision and go from there. I don't know. It's just meh to me. And at number one, it is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Ugh, why? Why? So Jade Cargill went over Naomi. She went over Naomi cleanly. There was no dispute. I mean, it's as factual as you can get. This was wrong. In my opinion, and I talked about this leading up to it, and I'm going to go more in depth in a video that I'm doing on the channel as well about Jade, which was I did not think that Jade Cargill should have won this match going into this match. I still don't think that Jade Cargill should have won this match. I think you have to look at the reality of the situation. Jade Cargill is a babyface, for better or for worse. Naomi is the heel, for better or for worse. It was Naomi who attacked Jade Cargill in November. It was Naomi who laid out Jade Cargill. It was Naomi who took her spot in a tag team with Bianca Belair and was the tag team champions. And now it's Naomi who has to answer for her sins and has to answer for the attack on Jade Cargill. You going into it, looking at it from a simple booking perspective, if you are trying to get legs out of this storyline, and I assume they are, because it's been one of the top SmackDown feuds in recent weeks, and honestly, it's been one of the better feuds that WWE is doing in general. You go, okay, well, if we have Jade beat Naomi in match 1 in a singles match, how do we get heat back on Naomi? Now, she could go out there and cut a promo. She could go out there and attack her. I don't know what. It's not going to be the same. The heat will be cooled off slightly. I thought Jade should have lost. It gives Naomi a gigantic win, and it doesn't hurt Jade one bit, especially if you have Naomi, who is a heel, cheat her way to victory. Okay? Now you got to get all of this heat back on Naomi. You're still trying to get Jade over as a babyface, which I don't think fans are buying into anymore, especially the further she gets away from Bianca Belair. And now you got to set up a potential rematch in 3 weeks at Backlash. I just think they swung and missed. I think they overlooked things. I get wanting to, give people what they want. You want to see Jade get the ultimate revenge on Naomi because that's what's best for business. But in this regard, I don't agree with the call. I really don't. I would love to hear, someone explain to me why Naomi should have went over outside of like the weirdo, Jade Cargill hate. Like I get it. She's not the greatest promo. She's not the greatest worker. She has presence. She has size. She has charisma. That's what WWE is looking for. That is why Jey Uso won the world title in the opener. Okay. So if I'm WWE and I go, I don't know if I would have had Jade go over. I really, really don't. But they did. They thought that's what was best for business, that's what should have been done. I disagree. I really, really do. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below.